In this video, I'm going to ask you to try to imagine the unimaginable. This unimaginable thing, if you can call it a thing, is an infinite presence, an infinite knowing, an infinite intelligence, which knows everything. Nothing is outside of its parameters. Yet it has no center. It is everywhere, right across every single spectra that you can imagine, if you can imagine them. Now this presence, this intelligence, this I am, knew of itself and knew itself to be infinite in every direction. But it could not experience itself because it knew everything and was everything. There was no other reference, no other point of reference. And it dearly wanted to experience itself. It was everywhere, like an infinite ocean with no top, no bottom, no land masses around it, where every point of it was it, the I am. How could it experience itself with this infinite intelligence? And then, from one particular point, one infinitely small point, which could be anywhere within itself, it decided to expand itself from that point in 6 different directions, up and down, right and left, and of course at angles to that. And then it stopped. It went equal distance to all of those things. And now it had points of reference outside of the center point. With those points, it could create. It could create straight lines between the points, draw squares, draw triangles. And this was the beginning of sacred geometry. Now, from all of those equal points at distances, it only had straight lines. The next thought was, what if I cover in all the points? And from that point, it had curves. It had the outside of a globe. And it could move to the surface of the outside of that globe. Or it could move to a point within the globe itself and create another globe, partially joined and partially outside of the original globe. And this was the beginning of what in this book is called sacred geometry. I bought this little book somewhere in a bookshop, I think, around about 2017, and never really read it. Read it thoroughly. But this sacred geometry is something else again, because it is believed to have been found in some of the most ancient buildings ever built. The ancient pyramids inside on the walls, the sacred flower of life, as they call it, the flower of life, from which every single geometric shape can be formed. And it is from geometric shape, rather than mathematics, according to this author, that the whole universe is founded. In other words, the I am, the God, is now divided up into countless myriads parts smaller than itself. And this was done deliberately, that it might experience itself. For the lesser parts could look towards the greater parts and move towards the greater parts. This gave meaning to the smaller parts. And every single part had the original consciousness, the I am within it. In other words, every single aspect, every single fragment of the whole contained within it the essentials of the whole, the knowing, the infinite intelligence, the I am.